Hi, this is Sean,
Hi, this is Isaac.
and this channel's called Wolf Dog Moon. And today we're gonna be doing a special new wrestling series on Memphis wrestling. It's called Championship Wrestling from the United Wrestling Network. So if you like this kind of content, awesome wrestling discussions, then smash this like button, subscribe to our channel, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on our next video, comment down below, and share with your friends. Alright, let's get into this. So, Isaac and I, just this week, we stumbled on this wrestling promotion, which is Memphis Wrestling. Now, we watched a few of the events already, and first of all, I remember Memphis Wrestling going way back in the 80s, or the NWA era. You got the NWA Superstation. So I clicked on it, and then next thing I know, we're watching awesome wrestling with colorful characters, and so let's get into it. So now, basically, what we're gonna do, and I consider this a hidden gem, because right now it's on YouTube. Again, their channel is called Memphis Wrestling, and they have free content on there. Pretty much every episode is free. It's awesome. And so what we did was we had watched whatever it was basically called. It was called Championship Wrestling presented by Car Shield, and that came out on the 16th of October. And so we watched that, and then when we delved into the YouTube channel, we discovered that they also have an episodic wrestling show that they do. So what we did was we went back to episode 1, which came out just this year in 2022, and so that we could learn about the different characters, and also start way back when they basically started airing the episode. So we started with episode 1, and then in addition to that, we had watched a few other things, like they had like a battle royal that they did, and some other stuff, and we were liking what we saw. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to do this, and you can let us know in the comments if you want to come along with us on this journey. We're gonna try to do like a spoiler free kind of catch up reviews. So this will be the first one of that, where we go back to episode 1 and just talk about the different characters and what our thoughts were on it in a spoiler-free way. And then what we're also going to do is like the current, for example, today's Saturday, the 22nd of October, and they're going to be doing another of the Car Shield. So they're going to do the Championship Wrestling presented by Car Shield, and that's supposed to come out today. And again, all this stuff is free. So if you're looking for fun, family-friendly, free content, especially in this current time we're in, where things can be kind of expensive, and you want fun entertainment for the whole family, right away, I would definitely recommend this Memphis Wrestling. I would consider it a hidden gem right now, and especially if you like, and Isaac, you can chime in any moment, but especially
it's a really good quality deal
it's free.
they're giving.
And especially if you like wrestling, like Isaac and I, we like wrestling, and we like when it's called wrestling, and we like when they're called pro wrestlers and not something else. And if you've been following wrestling, especially since, for example, the Attitude Era back in the 90s, it's been a different kind of presentation than what I like in terms of what I think the wrestling business should be and how wrestling should be done as a hobby. This is a cool hobby, and but it should be done and handled a certain way, and that's going to be fun and not subvert your expectations. And what's awesome with this Memphis wrestling is they're going back to the basics in terms, and they're going back to what makes wrestling and wrestling to awesome to watch. So let's get into this. So this again will be about the first episode. So we encourage you to go and click on the Memphis Wrestling YouTube channel. You can subscribe, and also just go in. They have it set up to different playlists, and you're just looking for it says it'll say the episode number, and just go to episode 1, and then you'll know what we're talking about. And so we definitely encourage you to do that now. It was an awesome, fun show, and we think you'll enjoy it. But we're going to get into the particulars now of the wrestlers. But Isaac, do you want to say something first before we start doing that, or do you have anything you want to add, or before we just jump right into the matches and stuff?
Well, just go into the matches.
All right, let's go into the matches. All right, so in this first episode, what's really cool is they have, it's called the Cobra Cup Tournament, and it's 8 matches. So they're right off the get-go, they have to establish essentially who the champion is going to be, because this is the very first episode, and the very first match is between this guy named Johnny Lyons versus this Bret Michaels guy, who right away, this Bret Michaels guy, he's called the Gun Show. And as soon as they announce him, they say, they say, welcome to the Gun Show. And this guy's an imposing figure. It's an awesome match. And so this tournament, basically, it's gonna, I think, play out in the first few episodes, and in order to crown a champion. Now, right off the bat, I just want to let you know that this Memphis wrestling, it's really cool because it harkens back to wrestling of yore, back in the 80s. And like, for example, the wrestlers are doing belly to belly suplexes. They're doing grappling. They're doing backdrops. They're doing drop kicks. They're doing arm drag takedowns and sleeper holds. Ishinoku drivers. They're doing insecurities. They're doing small packages. They're doing all the wrestling basics that makes wrestling awesome to watch in terms of the storytelling. And then not only that, the announcers, the way the announcers are announcing the contest, you really get invested in each character. They're telling you the strengths and the weaknesses, or what's awesome about each character, and they're doing it in a way that gets you immersed and invested in this show. So the first episode, right away you get into the action, and with this Cobra Cup tournament.
Yes, they have a good variety of moves for the wrestlers, and they're using some of the old school moves that's been missing in some of wrestling in the past few years. And they've had some interesting tactics that the wrestlers done for the faces and the heels.
All right, so yep, and now, so the first match was awesome, and you definitely this Bret Michaels guy, he's definitely an opposing figure, and he weighing in at about 250 pounds is what they announced. And so the next segment is like a training segment, and it's pretty cool because it's like in black and white and stuff, and so it's kind of it's showing you, okay, this one of the wrestlers, doing some kind of sparring, and getting ready, and already you can tell, okay, this guy is he's someone you don't want to mess with, but he's also kind of short-tempered and difficult. So they show that. And within the actual program, what they do is they have a lot of in-show commercials. So the Memphis Wrestling, it's in Tennessee, and so they have a lot of commercials, and like it's sort of like the sponsors. So it'll be sponsored by Car Shield, or it'll be sponsored by such and such a thing. And so there's a lot of really cool surprises who is in the commercials. So they actually have cool commercials that you want to actually watch while you're watching the show. Now, they have a website called championshipwrestling.com. And so, we encourage you to check that out as well. But YouTube ads, they put ads over the top of the video when you're watching it. So the program, the Memphis Wrestling has their own ads, and then YouTube puts ads over it, which some of which you can skip and others you can't skip. So what's cool, you can always fast forward when you're not getting the YouTube ads. So the YouTube ads aren't as good. They kind of, a little bit headache inducing, but there's nothing you can do about that. And again, you're getting this free, so you can, you kind of have to put up with that in a sense, because this is free content, and that's also what makes it awesome. And so it has a really cool organic feel too, even with the actual sponsorships and commercials. So after that, like little training reel, you have the next match, which is DJ Brown. He's called the Last High Stepper versus the King of Pow, Chris Lex. And this was another good match. And the DJ Brown, the Last High Stepper, he had nunchucks in the ring, and he was kind of showboating a little bit with the nunchucks. And now they're doing the wrestlers in general. They're doing like Isaac said, and what we outlined earlier. They're doing all the awesome moves. They're doing leapfrogs. They're doing spinning head scissors. It's so cool. It's surprising. It's like I feel like we're entering a wrestling renaissance, I'm gonna call it, where it feels like, okay, we're getting the promotions back, the territories. Like in this episode, they have a segment where they talk to this wrestler from the past. His name was King Cobra, and he had won this big bout back in, I think, the 80s against Jerry the King Lawler. And so they are asking this guy, and of course he's a lot older now, and so he was reminiscing about and hold on one second, please. Yeah, so you had this wrestler from the past, and basically the announcer, I forget what they said his name was, but he was asking him questions about how he felt, because they were back in the arena, or the place where they had filmed that event where this guy King Cobra defeated Jerry Lawler. So it was really cool, because it was like the history of the Memphis wrestling. And so you had that later on in the show. And so you had after DJ Brown versus Chris Lex, there's a bunch of surprises and gags along the way while you're watching the show. And then they throw in some vignette, and it's this black and white, creepy, wooded, these derelict houses, abandoned looking places. And it's like a horror theme, and then so it just shows you that, and then it goes on to another match between this other two guys, Mike Anthony versus Big Swole, he's called, Justin Cole. And this guy's really cool. He looks very impressive and powerful. And what's funny too is he walks around with a protein shake. So he has this protein shake gimmick that he walks around with. And then this Mike Anthony guy, right away, this guy looks mean. he looks like he no nonsense, and he's physically impressive looking and imposing. So this is a match that we would have you go watch. And so again, it's got the whole program has this really cool old school wrestling feel and the commentary is excellent. And so let's see. I'm gonna pause for a second. And see, okay, then the next thing. So you have, and again, the presentation's awesome, and the wrestling is awesome. You're getting grapplings, you're getting hip tosses, you're getting drop toe holds, you're getting headlocks, you're getting wrestling finally with this. And then let's see. So the next segment, you got two women fighting, and this girl's called Selena Dean, and she's referred to as New Money. And so right away, you're going to understand what this character is all about. Versus, she's called the Golden One, Cassandra Golden. And so this is an epic match. Again, throughout this wrestling event, again, which is free, they're doing power bombs. They're doing small packages. It is awesome. And then, so after that, you had you have that cool history of Memphis kind of stuff that they're working in. At one point, I forget what his name is, but he's responsible for the United Wrestling Network and how they're going about doing this wrestling program. And so they explain what this gentleman, I forget what his name is, but he explains what their mission is essentially with this wrestling company that they're doing, the Championship Wrestling. So go check that out as well. And then after that, for the main event, and this was awesome. Isaac was this match right here for a main event, because in a second I'll tell you why. But we had Remarkable Ryan Rembrandt versus the Soviet Saint, the Russian Wrecking Ball, Norman Meklikov. And it was funny because, okay, Isaac, we got to see this Russian kind of guy, and this bad dude, he looks like he's from the winter, the harsh lands of Russia, and he wrestled like that. So it was cool to see a character like that and stuff. So with this, you're getting, again, it's fun, family friendly, and it's free. And you're getting awesome wrestling. You're getting all the moves, and you're getting a colorful set of characters, and interesting right from the get-go. They got to crown a champion, so they're going to be doing this Cobra Cup tournament. Now, definitely want to bring you along with us. You're welcome to join us. We're going to do these spoiler type free reviews going forward, where we're going to go episode by episode. And so we encourage you to come along with us. And we also, go check out the Memphis Wrestling YouTube for yourself. And then you can comment down below and let us know what you think. And Isaac's going to let you know something.
I like how they do the build-up of the wrestlers on this Memphis Wrestling with that black and white training, and they have the backstage segments on here. I like how it gets straight to the point and isn't dragged out for in the ring talk show.
Yeah, it doesn't do the talky talk Jerry Springer style. They're talking in the ring, and that kind of stuff. It always drives me crazy and gives me headaches. And this Memphis Wrestling, they're getting back to, okay, this is wrestling, and we're gonna call it wrestling, and we're gonna call these guys pro wrestlers, and we're gonna treat it as such, and it comes across in a great, awesome way. And again, it's fun, family friendly, and it's free. And so yeah, we definitely recommend this. We're gonna keep watching it, and somehow this is all linked um, with AEW and also New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then there's some kind of there's involvement with like Impact Wrestling, and then you have like Ring of Honor. So they're working with third parties somehow to bring different wrestlers from these different promotions, and also the different companies, and it's almost like some weird cooperative, but it feels like a wrestling renaissance. It feels like, okay, we want wrestling back, and they're trying in this Memphis wrestling. It's about the wrestling, the presentation when you're watching the matches. It's, for example, some of the wrestling that's on TV on the cable channels, for example, the WWE and some of those. The crowd is more of the focus than the in-ring action. So where this conversely, this Memphis wrestling, they do it better where the focus is squarely on the wrestlers and the action is on the wrestlers and not the crowd. The crowd's kind of in the dark in these Memphis wrestling programs, and it comes across in an awesome way. And so we would like you to join us for these reviews, and we definitely had a blast watching these episodes so far. And we're also going to be doing again, this was like an episode 1 of the Championship Wrestling, and you can watch it on YouTube. But they also have a separate playlist, and it's Championship Wrestling presented by Car Shield. And we're going to go back to 1/8/22. So we're going to go back to January 8th of this year, and we're going to start with that episode too. And that episode's a little bit different in the presentation. It kind of comes across this like, if you remember the old NWA Superstation, and in this car presented by Car Shield, they pretty much show you these marquee matches, and they're like it's like curated content from these different events where the guys have squared off, or the girls have squared off the wrestlers. And so we're gonna do some reviews, spoiler free too, on those. So look out for that in the future. So let us know if you want to see more of this, and we would also point you to our channel. Again, give us a subscribe. But if you go into our Wrestling Versus, we have some cool content where we take 2 wrestlers and we sort of book the match and show you from a promotion standpoint, and using logic and reason and wrestling history to show you who would win in that outcome. And we also have like a review of this pay-per-view from New Japan Pro Wrestling that had come out recently called Capital Collision, and that's also free on the New Japan Pro Wrestling website, or on their channel on YouTube. So you can go to them to check that event out, and you can watch our review to see what we thought about it. And again, that's also a spoiler-free review. So in the meantime, we hope that this video finds you having an amazing day, and look out for more content like this in the future. And we hope that you have a blessed day. Signing out.